There's a reason they don't teach this in school, not because it's false, but because it's too powerful. We were raised to believe reality is solid, objective, external, something we observe from the outside. But ancient systems, real ones, hidden from mainstream narrative, tell a different story. They say reality is malleable, not fixed, not final, fluid, a dance of mind, energy, and principle. And at the core of this view are three ancient laws that don't belong to one culture or religion, but to consciousness itself. Laws that, once understood, don't just change your beliefs, they change your experience. The reason most people feel stuck in life isn't because they lack discipline, it's because they're playing by the wrong rules. Outdated maps, mechanical models of a living, breathing universe. But these ancient laws, they're alive. They respond to you, not to what you think, to what you believe, not to what you want, to what you are. And here's the kicker. You've been using these laws your entire life. You just didn't know it. Every choice you've made, every pattern you've repeated, every synchronicity you couldn't explain, they weren't random. They were reflections of unseen principles at work. So if you've ever felt like reality is glitching, like your thoughts somehow shape your environment, you're not imagining things, you're witnessing law in motion. The question is, are you ready to work with it instead of against it? Because once you learn how reality actually bends, nothing in your life will feel accidental again. In ancient hermetic philosophy, the first and most foundational law is this: all is mind. Not everything has a mind. Not you have thoughts. No, everything is thought. The universe at its core is mental. Reality isn't a place you live in. It's a projection emerging from consciousness, your consciousness. Think of it like this. You're not a tiny body walking through a giant external world. You're a point of awareness inside an infinite field of mind. And what you focus on, what you believe, starts to take form, not as metaphor, as mechanics. Modern quantum physics is just now catching up to this. Double-slit experiments, observer effects, the role of intention in matter. But the Hermeticists knew this thousands of years ago. You don't move through reality. Reality moves through your interpretation. So when you expect disappointment, you find it. When you believe the world is hostile, it reflects that. When you believe you're unworthy, your environment conforms to that template. Why? Because the world isn't showing you what's real. It's showing you what you expect to be real. And that's why the first law matters so much. You've been taught that thoughts are private, small, internal. But they're not. They're creative engines. Your inner world becomes your outer world. It doesn't matter what you affirm once a day if you unconsciously doubt yourself the other 23 hours. The mind responds to frequency, not words, to belief, not lip service. So the next time your life feels chaotic, ask, not what's wrong out there, but what story am I broadcasting from in here? Because you're not just thinking, you're casting spells, whether you know it or not. And once you stop taking your thoughts as background noise and start treating them as blueprints, reality begins to shift. The second law is simple to say, but nearly impossible to ignore once you truly get it. As within, so without. As above, so below. This isn't poetry, it's physics of consciousness. Your inner state, your beliefs, feelings, unspoken assumptions aren't just influencing your life. They are your life. You don't have a mindset. You broadcast a frequency, and everything outside of you responds to it. Relationships, opportunities, conflicts, even the way strangers treat you. They're not reacting to who you say you are. They're responding to the emotional signal you carry unconsciously. You could read every book, journal daily, visualize your goals, but if you carry shame, scarcity, unworthiness deep in your field, your world mirrors that, not as punishment, as precision. Because the universe doesn't speak language, it speaks vibration. You want to know what you really believe? Look at your patterns, not your plans. Look at what keeps showing up, not what you wish would show up. that person you attract again and again, that job you hate but stay in, that same emotion you can't shake. It's feedback, not failure. Your outer world is holding up a mirror, and it won't change until you do. That's why shifting your external life without internal awareness is exhausting. It's like changing the mirror instead of cleaning your face. So when reality feels stuck, don't push harder out there. Get quieter in here. Because transformation doesn't start with the world. It starts with your frequency. And if this is resonating, if you're ready to stop reacting and start reprogramming, subscribe and tap the bell, because we're not just talking theory. We're building mastery from the inside out. If everything is mind, and what's within creates what's without, then here's the next layer. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. You're not a static being in a stable world. You're a frequency moving through a field of other frequencies, constantly attracting, repelling, resonating, muting. Emotion is energy in motion. Thoughts are subtle vibrations. Even objects that seem solid are just molecules moving in tight patterns. So what does this mean practically? It means when you feel fear, you start attracting confirmation of danger. When you embody gratitude, you begin to resonate with expansion. And most people don't realize you can't fake vibration. You can fake a smile. You can fake positive thinking, but your body, your field, doesn't lie. If you affirm abundance but still feel scarcity in your gut, that's the frequency that shapes your world, not the words. This law also reveals a powerful truth. Polarity is part of the game. Every emotion has its opposite: love and fear, calm and chaos, confidence and doubt. And when you swing too far into one pole, the universe, balanced by nature, brings the opposite. So don't panic when things fall apart after a breakthrough. It's polarity correcting imbalance. It's energy equalizing. Instead of resisting the swing, master it. Ride it consciously. Use the low to anchor the high. Use pain as a compass, not a curse. Because when you stop labeling some vibrations bad and start seeing them all as information, you gain emotional sovereignty. You stop being a puppet of mood swings. You become a conductor. Your life becomes symphonic, not because it's always high frequency, but because you know how to tune it. By now you've heard the 3 core laws. All is mind. As within, so without. Everything vibrates. Individually they're powerful. Together they form a map, a system. Because when you combine these laws, you begin to see reality isn't reacting to you out of chaos. It's responding to you with precision. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're inside a feedback loop where your beliefs shape perception. Your perception drives emotion. Your emotion shifts frequency, and your frequency bends reality. So if life feels like it's repeating the same stories, it is, because the system is showing you where you're still broadcasting old frequencies. Let's say you believe you're unlovable. You'll attract partners who confirm it. You'll interpret kindness with suspicion. You'll sabotage connection before it can challenge your belief. Not because life is cruel, but because it's exact. If you carry unconscious scarcity, you'll miss opportunities right in front of you. You won't see them as aligned because your frequency isn't matching. It's not magic, it's mechanics. And once you realize this, your life stops being a mystery. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what frequency am I locked into that keeps creating this? This is the point where people either wake up or double down on blame. Because accepting this means letting go of the story that life is random. It means owning your role as creator, not in a fluffy new age way, but in a way that's brutally honest. Because this system won't lie for you. It won't adjust to your intentions. It mirrors your energy, period. So the question becomes, can you hold yourself accountable for the signals you send, even when you don't like what's coming back? Because if you can, you gain the power to rewrite everything. Knowing the laws changes your perception, but living them, that changes your reality. Because this isn't philosophy, it's design. And when you work with these laws deliberately, you stop reacting to life and start sculpting it. Here's the first shift. Audit your mind. Not in a motivational way, in a forensic way. What's looping inside your head all day? What beliefs run in the background like subconscious code? If your life is your mirror, then every repeated frustration is telling you something. Update required. Second, feel your emotional signature, not the spikes, the baseline. You don't manifest from peaks of emotion. You manifest from what you live in. Is your default anxious, defensive, hopeful, curious? Whatever frequency you rest in, that's the signal you send. That's the reality you keep calling in. Third, act in alignment. Don't say abundance while hoarding. Don't preach peace while people-pleasing. Don't visualize freedom and stay in the same cycle. Your actions anchor your beliefs, and the universe doesn't respond to what you wish. It responds to what you embody. And finally, let polarity be your teacher. Stop running from contrast. That bad day, that fight, that fear, don't push it away. Study it. Ask, what belief is this reflecting? What part of me still needs refinement? Because now you know, reality is a feedback loop. Everything is trying to show you. And if that sounds overwhelming, good. It means you're close. It means your power can no longer be ignored. Because when you take radical responsibility for your frequency, you stop hoping for miracles. You become one. Let's get real. Most people hear these laws and get excited. They start journaling. They make vision boards. They say mantras in the mirror. And after a few weeks, they give up. Why? Because they think the laws aren't working. But the truth is, the laws are always working. They just don't respond to wishful thinking. They respond to truth. Here's what most people get wrong. They treat mindset like a mask. They say, I'm abundant while panicking over bills. They say, I trust the universe, but refresh their email 30 times a day waiting for results. They don't realize the universe doesn't hear your words. It hears your nervous system. If your body is in fear, your life will reflect fear, no matter what your mouth says. That's not failure. That's honesty. And then there's another trap. Forcing. Trying to bend reality by sheer willpower. Obsessing over outcomes, fixating on control. But that energy, it's scarcity in disguise. Because creation doesn't come from force, it comes from alignment. And alignment requires trust. Trust in timing, trust in flow. Trust that if something's not here yet, it's either not time or you're not aligned with it. Most people want control more than they want truth. They want certainty more than they want growth. So they manipulate, push, chase, and then wonder why nothing sticks. But these laws aren't here to give you everything you want. They're here to reflect what you're ready for. And that's the part most can't face. Because real creation means facing your shadows, owning your doubts, and choosing again, moment by moment, from a different place inside. No shortcuts, no tricks, just resonance. And when you finally stop performing alignment and start living it, that's when the laws start bending reality for you. You've been bending reality your entire life. Every belief you repeated, every emotion you fed, every pattern you justified, they all carved your world into what it is now. Not as punishment, as reflection. And now you know the laws. Now you see the gears behind the illusion. So what will you do? Because there's a truth most people can't handle. Ignorance is safer than power. If you're unaware, you can blame, you can complain, you can stay small and call it fate. But once you know, you can't unknow. You don't get to say, life just happens to me. You have to face the fact that you are happening to life right now, with every thought, every fear, every frequency you emit. So the question isn't, do these laws work? The question is, do you have the courage to live like they do? To take full responsibility, not just for your dreams, but for your doubts? to stop outsourcing your power to systems, to gurus, to luck, and start becoming the architect. Because the truth is, you don't need another retreat. You don't need more information. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to remember you're already generating your world, consciously or not. And now that you know, what are you willing to change? So here's the question. One you can't answer with your mind, only with your life. What story are you still living that you're now ready to rewrite?